It's really much so.
Testing.
Hear ye, hear thee, to thou I scream. Lend me an audible ear, bear witness to what I've seen. Hear ye, hear thee, to thou I scream. Lend me an audible ear, bear witness to what I've seen. Hear ye, hear me, to thou I scream. Lend me an audible ear, bear witness to what I've seen. The path of an emerald enchantress intersected with that of a beast who feared no foe. Her powers of elemental enchantments, visions, and spells. His, a passive ability to weaken those who oppose, impede, delay the road to where he must go. With such great ability, there is no need for him to strike. For any attempts to physically impair him only takes away from one's own might. But on the other side of sight, the emerald enchantress appeared to take flight. She summoned wings so white they glowed in the night. Her mystic crystals form a shield, while sage incubated her from evils that strayed from the light. Within her lies an eagerness that's unresolved, as if harmony of this world is her day job. As she glides and strides, she felt the energy from afar. And I quote what she spoke. Never before. Can it be? Someone is nearly as powerful as me? I must know who they are. Meanwhile, wounded from battle, the beast laid in his cave. Success has a price that must be paid. As he heals, it is revealed that such cycles will be consistent with the rest of his days. Such a gift is this burden, to manifest as he is learning, gain prestige as he is serving, only to return it and spurn them. All treasures of this world are not worth earning. Aware of intruder, he shuddered a warning. The beast has a sense of hearing that is very acute. So although I can't see, I can hear you. How dare you for fool to enter my domain and disturb my zen that is peaceful? The enchantress then speaks. I mean you no harm, pleasant beast, but your mission attracted me. I've had great visions I have seen. All of your scenes in between a curse and a dream. You're the one that speak of, the one with no name. Our origins are different, but our mission is the same. Protect the ones we love, serve all who remain. But there's one mission called love. And for that mission, dear beast, you are afraid of. Hello, hello? Whew. I snap back to reality as a blank stare covers my face. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear anything you was trying to say. I got lost in your eyes and so did the dream during the day. My name is Jamaal. I thank y'all for coming out. So that one was called Hear You Hear You. It's one of my favorite poems. You know, I love the introduction. I love making this poetry experience immersive. So I thank you guys for being here. I'm a little bit nervous that you guys can hear my voice right now. Let me grab the microphone. So I'll be reading from my book, Scenes in Between a Curse and a Dream. So hope you guys enjoy. The next poem is called Fear versus Love. Peacefully, I've been swimming in the shallows. Repercussions of a fear for being emotionally deep. The safety of knowing that my feet are touching the ground. The setting of a moonlit night with waves crashing against the beach. Over the sea's horizon I see a silhouette walking towards thee. With my vision being less than acute, all that is being witnessed in the distance is this shadowy figure in front of me. In elapsed time, we collide. Me and this figure, eye to eye. Now, I am petrified of the events of this night, but the real scare is seeing that this figure is I. A man that I've bottled up on the inside has escaped his imprisonment. His hope for love has kept him alive. Now, this battle must ensue. A man who fears yielding to love versus one that is very lovable. One who has a heart full of emotions versus one who is hard to talk to. One who prefers to keep the conversations in the shallows versus one who isn't afraid of the conversations that are deep. Nemesis during a stare down. They both understand the heart will bleed. But nevertheless, this battle proceeds. The man with fear strikes first. Reminded of past pains, afraid of future hurts. A blow so direct it sends the man of love to the dirt. And fear grimaces with a smirk. For surely a blow so powerful will bury any hope of love in a hearse. Meanwhile, fighting what seems to be his twin, maybe it is his doppelganger raised by a necromancer. The man of love was unsure of his enemy's origins. All that he knew was that he was tired of being locked in. For control of this mind, body, and soul, this battle he must win. As his face rests in the sand, he started to realize that he can give his heart, escape the shallows, and become more than a man. On my feet I stand. I will not be defeated by fear, and let that be proclaimed throughout this land. The man of love is now upright, the cowardly reflection of himself within his sights. This battle is not over, he states. Only one of us shall survive this night. Towards each other they run full speed. Fear versus love, the shallows versus the deep. For control of me, who shall it be? An epic collision of emotions causes a cataclysm on this beach. But who is the victor? We shall see. For the last scene before the dream was over was that of the man of love asking the man of fear to yield. Damn you, fear! Let me be. I must show how much love is within me. I must show I don't fear getting deep. So why won't you yield, fear? Why won't you yield? Poem. I tell a lot of my poems, my poems in story form. That's a way of me cowardly describing myself, through characters. So. Some of these next few pieces are a little shorter, but stories none told. I know which direction I am to head in life based on the poem my soul is able to write. When the sun extends its rays, or when the stars shine bright, those long peaceful days, or those short restless nights, a path to servitude, or a path to conquer, which will enable strife. I know which direction I am to head in life based on the poem my soul is able to write. This poem is about my dog, but it's also about the way I feel being a black man in America, unfortunately. I'm originally from Belize City, Belize, and I did not know I was a black man in America until I moved to America. When I am in America, I do not walk around my neighborhood unless I have my German Shepherd Lab mixed puppy with me. No. When I am ballet, I fire in the pan. So 4 paws and a wagging tail becomes an unconcealed weapon to see. I consider myself a cool, peaceful soul, but my precious shells are not empty. So I respectfully give them their own space, intentionally seeking to remain displaced. For my neighbor's land is a land where roaming souls are mostly empty. They tempt me as I leave my home. A mousetrap for a stranger in a foreign zone. A sacrificial lamb to their cause, and all that is needed is for me to walk alone. But I remain in stride, ears open with my head held high. My puppy keeps looking back to check on me while leading the pace with pride. We turn corners like we are drifting, or motion interrupted only by his pissing and his sniffing. My neighbors do remain disappointed due to his presence not being missing. I remain aware of what exists around me. My success impedes these enemies' boundaries. So as I stroll to release the weight of society's toll, may a pup with a God's name be the entity that protects me. And my dog's name is Kronos. Thank y'all. If y'all know how nervous I am right now.
You're doing great.
This next poem is called It Is Written. It is written that sometimes the punishment must occur before the crime. Currently living in an answered prayer, I say, of the days long departed to the ones that are to come. Please, just bring peace my way. To every instance of being an instant blessing, to balance the curses per mistakes I've made. To every demon whose demonstrations earned their slaughter, cheers to the beings of divinity who've illuminated my way. But enough of the disharmonious discourse, for you are here to be moved. But let us keep our audible tones low, for we know who lurks under this moon. All that I ask is that you pay attention. For this life's imminent presentation, it will be nothing less than a transformation. So as a man turns to beast, these scenes that you will witness seeks no end. Now get ready, dear friends. At any minute, this enigmatic energy of a being can signal he is ready to begin. Poem. So I wasn't prepared for all this material, so I do apologize. I have to read everything to you guys. But let's enjoy this experience. I thank you guys for being here. This poem I wrote actually in 1996. I've revised it since, but I wrote this poem originally in 1996, and it's one of my favorite poems. But you guys need to, shh. They are murderers without even knowing they are. Murderers without even knowing they are. Why is living so painful? What does it take to survive in life? Just to win, we must roll the dice and get the same number twice. It is as if we are mice trapped in a maze, wasting our days, saying prayers, running away from our fears, knowing it would only catch up to us over the years. We only have one life to live. But that life I would give up so fast, just to get a gasp of another life that I can never have. To be free of pain, there is no one person I can blame for giving it to me. So I let it be, patiently wait and see if they continue giving this pain to me. I know they will, but still lack the courage to tell them that emotionally I've been killed. Murderers without even knowing they are. They are murderers without even knowing they are. Poem. That poem was originally about a girl. She was the only person that was not a murderer. Another poem I wrote around the high school age, so you guys gonna time travel with me a little bit. I have a problem, one of my flaws in my opinion is writing in a rhyme pattern. As a poet, as an artist, I try to grow, doing the things that I don't do, So one of my goals in life is to write poems where it's not necessarily rhyming, so I blame MTV, the old MTV. This poem is titled The Beetle, and it's based on a true story. It is amazing and scary to see all the punishment a human body can take before it concedes to Lady Death. Once, I found a beetle. I proceeded to place this beetle on a piece of paper. I then dropped this paper in a bucket of water. I sat there watching the beetle try to escape, knowing I had her destiny on my finger. I watched it go under the paper, looking for a way out, then coming back on top to catch some air. She did this numerous times before she gave up. I watched her floating around in the water, knowing her final moments were a few seconds away. I threw another piece of paper in the water so the beetle could crawl on. She did. And once again, she tried to find a way out, thinking that there was a way out. I incidentally went away, forgetting about the beetle. And when I came back, I saw her floating in the water. I knew she was dead, and I knew I had killed it. I sometimes wonder about all the punishment my body has taken in this thing called life. Then I say to myself, how and why am I still alive? I sometimes wonder if someone is doing the same thing to my life that I did to that beetle, with me always trying to find a way out, knowing the only way out is home. My brother, my brother. My brother, my brother. The devil has some ammo too. My brother, please do not let that ammo be you. Is it better to be the devil's right-hand man than to be standing in his way? Can you believe these words were written on the Lord's day? As I started to write, a black widow crossed my path. Maybe I was being warned about writing words I should not have. The ink in the pen, although full, did not want to put itself on the paper. I thought it knew of the repercussions of what may happen later. My brother, there's a war going on. And the devil is prepared. All the while we think he is living in fear. See, the devil has some that will worship him. I'm stuttering as I read these words. Others that will die for him. May I ask, will you die for your Lord? I hope that question doesn't seem absurd. See, the devil has some that will kill themselves to kill you. Yes, the devil has some ammo too. But my brother, do not let that ammo be you. You see, my brother, with truth being told, there is no right or wrong. There is only perception. And as human beings, we can only hope not to act on emotions. So what is reasoning? when we have negativity in our hearts. And the death of another brother is only occupant residing in our thoughts. Aristotle believed that our words are more powerful than our weapons. So why do we choose the weapons when negative starts to happen? My brother, I'm not God, so I cannot say killing is morally wrong. But it can only be right when hell freezes over and we are ice skating on the Amazon. My brother, the devil has some ammo too. But please, my brother, do not let that ammo be you. I wrote that poem during 9/11. You know what I mean? Suicidal actions just, still going on in New Orleans now, so. Thank you guys again for being here. Okay, so let's do a little romantic poem. I'm gonna skip the first part. It's a little erotic, so I'm gonna skip the first stanza. Okay, we're gonna keep it PG tonight. It is, so we're gonna skip that part, but that's just to capture the audience and the spoken word audience when I'm in that arena. All right. This poem is titled Round 3. Sort of with some sexual innuendos as of, round 3, but I'm gonna skip that part. So round one was all about me. About how I have grown from the life of selfishness and foolery. About why it was necessary for only me to eat when there's a feast to feed, but because of greed, I caused starvation for the family. Never again shall I maintain a state of being emotionless. Calls for distress, the distant SOS. I looked away from Rex simply because it wasn't worth my stress. I didn't even shed tears when they laid loved ones down to rest. But round two is all about you. Yes, I said you, beautiful. About how you managed to make an empty creature full. About how you took no bullshit, a solid queen as you stood still. You didn't even flinch when being charged by this bull. It is crazy yet sexy how you kept your cool. Your warmth faded my cold. I was built roughed around the edges so I would never fold. Days of the future can wait as I grow old, for all I want in this world is my soul, your soul, melting souls, make us whole. On one knee, I propose. Love, say yes, say I'm yours. Round three is all about we. About what this union can be. About a love that can outlast an eternity. Generational wealth is across the street for us to keep, but in unison we must move our feet. Blessed is our home, but we must also be a blessing to those in need. Our child can create lifelong smiles. Make that 2 or more if you're down for the ride. As long as I have your attitude, your passion, your desire. I'll be the protector, so fear no why. For round 3 is where I plan to proceed in creating us a child. Boom. I got a couple more romance poems for y'all if, Valentine's Day is coming up, so let me get y'all warmed up. And also with this one, I'm gonna skip the first part because it's very sexually written.
We'll have to buy the book.
Yes. If you would, this poem is called Truth Be Told. All right. If you would ask me, what are you cooking tonight? Truth be told, my response would be to let you know that the entrees listed on my cooking menu are minimal. We're ordering takeout tonight. I'm only 5'11", but being 10 toes down made me stand taller on sight. You'll get to respect my mic, but babe, A bird with one wing cannot take flight. So if it's real, let me feel, because these scenes seem right. Truth be told, even a healed man has scars. The ones on the surface, those are from the journeys near. But the deep ones, those are from the journeys afar. Place your hands on my heart. Feel this rhythm I want us to dance to forever, and all you have to do is play your part. And it's looking like right now is a damn good time to start. Truth be told, these days, I cannot put myself first. You see, my mind isn't always right. At this age, I figured I would have already made that ride in that black hearse. But thanks to you, these days are filled with light. Obstructions were planted to see me reverse. But for that protection, I pray at night. Now as the world gives me the recognition they think I deserve, I give the Most High credit. I will just take an extension of life on this earth with a woman that's worthy of carrying my child until childbirth. Do not call me your Superman. That title means nothing to me. How about you call me your man and watch your life change drastically? Girl, if the feeling is the same, then let me change your last name. Together, we shall build a kingdom that will remain. We have what it takes to eliminate dead weight, but our path must be the same. For when all is revealed, you shall see. You don't need tarots or fortune teller to tell you the future. For what is to come will ask you what you want it to be. And all I want you to tell the days of the future is that you want it to be with me. Poem.
One more and then questions.
Okay. This is the easy part. All right, so one more. I can quote my mother saying, when I was young, I never enjoyed walking on the sidewalk. I preferred walking in the road. I was never a disobedient. I was just very bold. I was an adolescent whose mind was very old. I was warm at the heart, but at the flesh, I was very, very cold. During sunsets, I reminisce about what I used to be. My resiliency allowed for slight inconsistencies. Genuinely, I can say I'm wrong in life for destroying things that had meaning to me. You see, this mental state of seeing nothing but warfare on my plate had me eating hate, unable to reconciliate, so I regurgitate a false image of myself. And when I'm in murder, that ain't was the only time they came to congratulate. And oh, what cold hands did they shake. But on this day, I can honestly say, today's a good day. I am still in stride on this side. Yesterday, I met a good guy who hit my car, causing an accident while driving down the street at 5. Truth be told, I'm just glad we both survived. Earlier, I avoided spies from the other side who dare not look me in the eye. It's cool, because the undignified are denied vacancy to reside in the dwelling of the 5. That's the 5% nation. If you know, you know. See, what they believe is only 5% of the world sees the truth. 85% are mere puppet on strings, simply doing what they are told. The remaining 10% are their puppet masters, controlling the 85%'s mind, body, and soul. And oh, what evil creation do they mold. But you must believe that my God has an army too. And standing on this front line is this new recruit, accepting of a suicide mission. Yes, I would die for you if that is what it takes for you to see the truth. I can now quote my mother saying, how proud she is of who she see. Thank you, peace, for letting things be. No longer in denial, this guy now rises with a smile for our last in the trials of this journey's last mile. Poem. Oh, was that? No questions? Oh, thank y'all.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to write?
Honestly, writing was a way for me to vent, capture emotions when I was going through scenes where I was lonely, frustrated, you know, the negative emotions. And being a creature of solitude, writing was my way of expressing myself without expressing myself, maybe verbally, physically, or radiating that negative energy. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of something I've been doing innately my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
What do you read or who influences you?
What do you read or who influences you?
Who influences me now? Well, a guy who just walked in influenced me. My fellow colleagues in poetry influenced me. When I was growing up, I'm a big history nerd. So that Greek mythology, Aristotle, I mentioned his name one time, you know, performances. You know, my inspiration comes from, you know, from anywhere. Just, you know, one poem, I wrote a Fairy versus Love poem. My inspiration for that poem was a comic book graphic novel that I heard being read, and I was like, well, I want a poem with two characters, and they're going at each other. So, and inspiration comes from my students, you know, so I'm open to inspirations.
Where do you teach?
Well, currently I'm a behavior specialist at Largo Middle School, big ups Largo Middle School, but I did teach civics previously, so social studies.
What did you write that scared you the most?
The poems that are not printed in this book. There's a lot of poems where I write about my suicidal thought poems. There was a point in my life, I think, well, not everybody, but there's a point in life where we're down. For me, that meant just, you know, removing my existence from this earth. And some of those poems I did not want to print, publish to inspire those who might think the same way. But they're cleverly written in stories also. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put the energy out there. So those poems are going to stay tucked, you know, and maybe in the future, but right now, I don't want to put the energy out there. And those are the ones that I'm afraid of.
Do you have extra copies with you that we can purchase?
Unfortunately, the author copies don't come until January 16th.
But you can pre-order them with us.
Yes, you can? Okay. I'm in the process of trying to get on Ingram Spark and, you know, try to get it in independent bookstores and all that. It is on Amazon. I didn't want to promote it because it's only on Amazon. As far as my knowledge, you know, I don't want to promote Amazon. I want to promote the independent bookstores. You know, I did have business cards. I forgot them just to make sure I was punctual. You know, I was like, should I turn around and get them, or should I be on time? You know, so let me choose punctuality. And so I do apologize on our business cards where, and you know, where you can order them and have a QR code on the back. But yes, I will talk to Brandon. We will get it available. And this is only the first edition. In the future, within the next year, maybe even 2 years, depending on life, I will come out with a second edition that's going to have an audiobook attached to it also, where you can scan the QR code in it, get you to an audiobook. So yes, and maybe some of those poems I'm scared of will be on that, you know. So. No more questions? Okay. Miss Martin.
How do you remember your ideas? Do you carry a notebook with you or send yourself a text? What do you do?
Yes, to capture a poem in the process of it's hitting me, I do text myself a lot. I used to walk around with a book when, you know, that was the analog days. Digitally now, I would either text myself when the poem or the line or even the muse hits me so I can capture the idea for later, but I also voice record myself. So yes, I do text myself a lot. You know.
What made you decide to write a book?
I've had this manuscript tucked off since summer of 2022. So I've had the manuscript written for a while. I don't have kids, so this is my baby. I mean, truth be told, that's what made me want to write a book, something to leave, a legacy to leave back. And that was really it, you know, so something I shied away from the majority of my life, but, you know, growing older age, You know, he's like, you know what? I have more time. You know, I probably lived a lot more life on this earth than I might have ahead of me. You know, so let me just leave something just in case. You know. So.
Any other questions? I also just want to mention, this is Jamaal's first time reading at a bookstore.
Yes,
So-
yes. And this is my bucket list. I've done spoken word, I've done slams, but I believe in the written word also. Like I really do believe in the written word.
Yeah.
And like this is my bucket list. If I could do this the rest of my life in front of bookstores, I'm happy. That's it. You know. So.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the difference, between spoken word versus written word, what you were doing before, what you're doing now?
In my opinion, and I have another spoken word artist here that can, you know, answer this for me or correct me if I'm saying this wrong. The written word is all about the words, how it's enunciated, about how it's presented as a story or, you know, with porosity. Spoken word, a lot of it is about the performance itself. Am I wrong in saying that? Okay, it's about the performance itself. You know, the quality can be there for both of them or be less for both of them, you know, but my flaws is I don't think I'm a good spoken word performer. I've seen better performers. I can read what's in the book. I can, you know, memorize what's in the book and read it out loud. But the performance part where I'm, you know, animated or things like that, you know, or my energy level goes up or things like that, I got to work on. You know what I mean? So.
I disagree. I felt like you were reading from the heart.
Now, yes, and now that you're going to get consistently. It's going to be from the heart, from the soul. But sometimes, you know, spoken word, they want performances. They want, you know, it's what about the audience want, especially if they're judges. You know, you're not really catering to the audience, you're catering to the judges. You're trying to get those points. And if your content necessarily isn't what the judges are feeling or what the theme is for that night, you know, you're not going to get those points, you know, so, or that money.
We had a question over here, too. How long did it take you to write your book?
That's an intriguing question, because the poetry that I have in this book, I've had, like I mentioned one poem I wrote in 1996. So to actually write the book or, you know, type it up and all that, the process is real simple. I mean, it takes about a month going through Amazon, KDP, you know, just following their process. Say currently trying to get an Ingram Spark so it can be in bookstores independently. I said I gotta wait another 30 days or so for that to finally be transferred. But it's not a long process to actually write the book. The content for the book took a lifetime. And that itself, you know. Yes, old poems, yes. And it was lucky because being a nomad, being a guy that never lived in a city more than 5 years, for me to collect and keep those poems, like that's one thing I've cherished my whole life. I've lost a lot of portraits, clothing, tangible things, but I make sure everywhere I move, one thing I kept on me was that, and my passport.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Belize has inspired your work?
There's a poem I haven't read yet, titled Belize, City Belize. The way I try to put Belize in my poetry or acknowledge Belize or show respect to where I'm from is in my poetry, I might just switch the dialect, you know. I think in the poem Chronos, I said, Mina no wene baleta farende pan, you know. And when I wrote that line, I didn't know how to type it. You know, like how would I actually just translate that into the written word? So I asked one of my fellow Belizeans. I was actually in Belize this past summer. I think it was somebody that got murdered, you know, something else was going on in America. And I was like, you know, I feel safer walking around the slums of Belize than I do walking around America. But I didn't know how to put that line specifically into words. So I walk around my fellow Belizean, I'm like, hey, Bali, look here. If you hear me why I say this, how you want to type that out, you know? And the boy say, write it just like that, brother. And when he told me to write it just like that, that's what's in this book now. So the dialect, a lot of my poems, I try to put that Belizean dialect in there just to pick up where I'm from, you know, so the audience, you know, or my, you know, people are out there get to experience that, you know. So.
Any other questions?
It's like an interview, right?
I know. One more over there, too.
So I used to work with middle schoolers, also actually Booker middle schoolers, and I gotta know, but are you working with those kids?
Yes. Working with kids is the best job in the world. Like,
With your poetry though.
Yes, I had a poetry club at my previous middle school. I'm not doing anything currently at the middle school I'm at now. That's just personal reasons, going back to school for my master's, time, things like that. But previously, yes, I did have a poetry club, and I started that back in 2018. And because of that poetry club, meeting fellow poets, going to different events where I meet fellow poets, curators, is what propelled me to be on the stage now. Because the inspiration to actually perform poetry and, actually want to be on stage, I didn't have the ambition for it at all, So having to perform or having to meet people is what, with that poetry club is what, kind of pushed me to say, you might actually be able to do this, or print a book, something like that. So, yes. And to me, I've heard a lot of poets nationally, internationally. The best poetry I've heard in my life has came from the youth. Like their state of mind, their imagination, their wordplay. To me, I don't think adults, we have that capability as they do, so. Exactly. Oh, no more questions? Okay.
Okay, we get it. Yeah, let's all give another round of applause. Thank you so much.